Hey everyone, welcome back to my Dev Web App channel. Today I'll build a new year countdown application in ReactJS using CSS Animation. Let's take a look at the design. As you can see, we have a pretty simple application. We have title and also our background is changing from red to green, and also we have days, hours, minutes and seconds to New Year. And as you can see, when hovering over some title, I can see the difference. And let's go to Visual Studio Code and build our application. I launched my Visual Studio Code and opened folder for my React projects, and now I can create a new project with npm create vite at latest. Okay, and now we need to provide the project name, and it would be new year countdown. Okay, and I'm going to select React and here TypeScript, and let's select now. And yes, I want to install and start my application. And now we need to wait until our dependencies are installed. And let's go to our code and see source files and open up TypeScript. And actually, we'll remove all this code and we'll build our own application. And also the same would be for CSS. And here, let's just remove a tag. And also we don't need the styles for button and also header. And we can remove from media. Okay. And now we can launch our application. And as you can see, we have some template from Vite. And let's clean up. And here I can remove all this code. And for now, we can add h2 tag with some new year 2026 countdown. Okay, and also we don't need useState here, and also all this imports. And now we can check. And as you can see, we have our header here, and we can remove some styles like place items center. And also let's remove all styles from app CSS. I don't think we need them. Probably we'll leave for root. Okay, and let's check. And as you can see, we have our header at the top. Now we can add components, and for that, let's create folder components. And actually, I can use my files from the previous video about solving interview challenge about countdown, and I'll explain this later. But for now, let's just copy files and paste them here. And inside JSX file, I would add some title, or probably we can just change title to new year 2026 countdown. And as you can see, we have export. Let me check. And we have export countdown. And now I'm going to import my component. Import count. And probably I need this import from. And we have it inside components and countdown. And we need to change to TypeScript extension because we created project in TypeScript. Okay, and now let's try again. And as you can see, I have countdown. And now I can use it instead of this title. Okay, and close this component. And let's check. As you can see, we have a new year countdown, and actually our application works. And let's explain the component. I can hide this navigation. As you can see, we have useState here, and initial state we took from calculate time left function. And this function just prepares object with days, hours, minutes, and seconds to specific date. And as default date, we put here a new year. And then we have some JSX with countdown container, and instead we have title and grid with time boxes, and each time box has days, hours, minutes, and seconds. And inside the time box we have time value and time label. Okay, and now let's change our styles. For countdown, we have display flags, flag direction column, align items by center. We can remove this justify content and provide min height and set 100 vertical height. And instead of background color, let's use linear gradient. And let me add it linear gradient, and it would be 135 degree. And let's use light green and 0%, and would change it to green and 100%. Okay, and let's check what I have so far. Okay, and we need to extend our countdown to the whole screen, and for that we can go to app CSS and remove all the styles, and probably we need to set with 100%, and also height would be 100%. Okay, and as you can see, we have our countdown for the whole screen. And let's go back to our styles. And now I can add changing background. And for that, we need to apply some keyframes. And let's add this keyframes, and that would be our animation for background. And let's add some name like gradient shift. And for 0% and 100%, we'll just copy our existing gradient. Okay, and for linear gradient, and oh, I forgot background. Okay, and for 50%, we would set some red background. Let's add this and change from a light red, and also here we would set red. And let's check. Okay, and also we need to add animation to our countdown background. Animation, and let's use our gradient shift. And for testing, let's place 1 second and make it easy, and make it infinite to change background all the times. And okay, we don't have light red. Let me provide here red, and made it like some different color. Okay, and let's check what I have so far. Let me refresh. Okay, and we don't have our gradient for now. Let's check. Okay, and I forgot or probably remove by accident our linear gradient function. Let's check again. And as you can see, we have changing background, but for our application, we don't want to change it every second, and let's put here 10 seconds. Okay, and now we can go and add styles to our box. And as you can see, we have some styles here, but let's add more styles. Probably we can make padding to rem for all sides, and let's add some background and make it like RGB, and make it white. And for that, I'm going to use white color, and we'll add some opacity. Okay, and let's check what we have so far. And as you can see, we have a background for our boxes. Okay, and now we can add some border and make it 1 pixel solid. And let's apply the same color as for our background, but change opacity to 20%. Let's check. And as you can see, we have probably have some shadows. Okay, and now we can add changing our boxes during hovering. And for that, let's add to our time box hover attribute. Hover. It will be shadow class, and apply transform, and change the size with translate Y, and I would add 10 pixels, and also let's apply some scale like 1.05. We would increase the size for 5%. And now let's try to hover, and as you can see, we have changing styles during hovering. Okay, and now we can add animation to our title, and we would change our title using keyframes as we did for background. And for that, let's create one more keyframe, and let it be some false keyframes, and apply the same technique as we did for our gradient, and for 0% and also 100%, we would add initial size and apply transform, and scale would be 1. And for 50%, we would increase the size of the text and make it scale 1.05. And now we need to apply our animation to title, because we have title inside our class name with title. Okay, and let's add animation and provide our name. Okay, and we can change our title every 2 seconds, and we can add some easy in out and make it infinite. Now we can check what we have. As you can see, our title is changing, and also we can change our boxes with hovering, and also our background is changing every 10 seconds. And also we have a countdown to the new year. That's all that I have for today. If you like the video, subscribe to my Dev Web App channel. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.